स्थिते हृदय कमलमध्ये देवदर्शन तनोतु हृदय कमलमध्ये देवदर्शन तनोतु असिद्धीशमं स्यात् कच्चलं सिन्धुमात्रे सुरुपर्वर्षाथा लेखिनी पत्रमुर्वी लिखित यदि गृहीत्वा शारदा सर्वकाला तद्वितं गुणानां ईशपारं नयाति तद्वितं गुणानां ईशपारं नयाति
सदाशिवाय नमो नमः। चरणकमलयो मंत्रपुष्पांजलिं समर्पयामि। हाथ जोड़ी भगवान ने प्रार्थना करवानी। जटाटवी कलज्वल प्रवाह पावजमान गुरुतन गज्वल ललाट पावके किशोर चंद्रशेखर रति प्रतीक्षण मम किशोर चंद्रशेखर रति प्रतीक्षण मम किशोर चंद्रशेखर रति प्रतीक्षण शाम सदाशिवाय नमो नमः। प्रार्थना नमस्कारान् समर्पयामि प्रदक्षिणा।
ओम शिव शिव परात्परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणं ओम शिव शिव परात्परे शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणं ओम शिव शिव परात्परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणं ओम शिव शिव परात्परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणं नमामि शंकर भवानी शंकर
नमामि शंकर भवानी शंकर
नमामि शंकर भवानी शंकर
नमामि शंकर भवानी शंकर
उमामहेश्वर तव शरणं
उमामहेश्वर तव शरणं
ओम शिव शिव परात्परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणं ओम शिव शिव परात्परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणं ओम शिव शिव परात्परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणं ओम शिव शिव परात्परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणं 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 ओंकारा शिव तव शरणं
हमारे जो गाँव से तो राग से मार्गोश पंचम उपयोग करे तो થાય पंचम को संपूर्ण मार्गोश
₹500 રામ ભરોસે આવેલ છે. બોલો અંબે માત કી જય.
हाँ ओडी मफत ओडी मुको बी बोली जाए कि मैं ऐसे तो मैं केवा माउस है ये संभाल दिया
જય
actually disrupted in their surface, and they contain virus particles that have both the surface antigens as well as some other particles like the nucleocapsid on matrix proteins. When talking about subunit vaccines, which are the last generation of influenza vaccines, here we have a highly purified vaccine, and these vaccines actually contain only the surface antigens. And these are supposed to be the vaccines that are less reactogenic. So when looking at the vaccine that I'm going to talk about today, the Agropar vaccine of Novartis, here you have the current recommendation. So it's a vaccine that is given at 0.5 ml to adults and children. However, for children, there's a possibility to give it at half dose or full dose, according to the discretion of the physician. And the children at the age of 6 to 35 months, they actually receive 2 doses. And I will explain a little later why this is necessary, showing you the immunogenicity data. However, it is somehow related to the phenomenon that I had shown you before, that immunogenicity is not perfect and also efficacy in the very young. And of course, if children have not previously been vaccinated, the second dose needs to be given after 4 weeks. And as you know, the vaccine is given intramuscularly. So talking about purity, there has been several work being done on the purity profiles of our vaccines. And in this study from 2008 and published in 2006 and 2008, you can see that the scores that were given for purity, so there were 5 categories of scores coming up to a total of 15. Agropar met the highest scores, even when compared to other subunit vaccines, and certainly when compared to split vaccines, which have, of course, as I've shown you by definition, a different purity profile. The tolerability that relates to this purity profile is very has been well studied in Italy. In 1996, this was due to the fact that in the country, the previous year there had been a couple of reports coming in through pharmacovigilance that induced the ministry to do a very large study on all available influenza vaccines. And you see in the study, there was a phase 4 study actually with more than 16,000 people. Agropar came out to be the one with the lowest rates of adverse events of local and systemic reactions. And I think that's very important because in this kind of studies are usually not conducted very often. So we do relate to this as it actually has all kinds of vaccines included, the subunit vaccine, the split vaccines, and the whole virus vaccine, so you get the whole panorama of vaccines. Continuing on the tolerability, talking about local reactions in adults, like the one before, you see that there is a slight difference between elderly and adults. Meaning adults are defined at 18 to 64 years. Usually adults report a higher reactogenicity in all vaccines, and you can see that very clearly here. Elderly, and this is a Colombian study, do have a report generally lower reactogenicity. However, when comparing subunit and split vaccines, you see that in many cases they're very similar, or actually they're lower, like in the ones that report most of the reactions. When looking at fever, which is one of the reactions that we would like to avoid in influenza vaccines, which are usually very, very well tolerated, we do see some